Hey there, my name's Shannon and welcome to my model channel. As you can see, I'm a huge Star Trek fan and I love all the ships from the TV shows, the movies, and even some of the stuff that never even made it to the big screen. Kind of like the USS Ascension back here. Now you won't only get to see Star Trek builds. I'll do some Star Wars stuff and some other sci-fi builds. But you'll get to see the unique way and some of my techniques of building these kits and the way I love lighting these things up. So I hope you enjoy, stay with it, and we'll get to the bench and see what our first build will be. Hey there. The first model we're going to do is going to be kind of for beginners or people who want to maybe get into the hobby and want to light up a model, but they're kind of unsure where to start, and maybe they've looked at some of the bigger ones and they didn't want to get into the price because you didn't know how to do it or whatnot. So you can look for one of these littler models, and they're a lot cheaper. They'll run you anywhere 20 bucks or so, and great for beginners. If you mess something up like this, you're not really out a whole lot and you don't have to get too discouraged. I've messed up a bunch of these doing different things, trying out new techniques and stuff. So they're kind of just a fun model to work with, and you don't have to have this exact one. You can do like the Enterprise D that's out there, or the Enterprise E that's a 2500 scale. So I'm picking this model because it's got a lot of different parts. It's got some clear parts on it. It's got a lot of different things that I can show all of you out there and give you some techniques and pointers on this model and other kits that'll help with this one. So let's see what we got. If I can open up the box. Alright. As you can see, we've got our regular plastic pieces, saucer section, main hull, warp nacelles. We've got our clear pieces. This will be the bastard cells, the front, you see, and then some of the other little detail pieces and stuff. So, and then your instructions. And this model is unique. I've never seen this before, but this thing's also got stickers and decals both. The decals are in here, and then it's got like a little sticker sheet. Very odd. You don't usually typically see that, but it's cool. I'll show you some neat decaling tricks and stuff and how to drill the windows on this particular model, because if you can see, there's no holes or anything in this. There's no indication where a window goes. I'll show you a neat trick with that if you come across another model that may not have this and you want to try to position windows or whatnot. So we'll get to it and we'll open this stuff up and see where we'll begin. Alright, I've got all the parts taken out of this kit. This is kind of a unique kit. It's got 3 different ways of building the ship. The original ship that was in the series, and then you had the first pilot and second pilot. We're going to do the first, the production series of the ship. And so I've got all the pieces out for that, and as you can see, you get a bunch of extra stuff to do the different pilots and whatnot. So all this stuff here we won't need, so we're going to set this all off to the side. And this is the stuff we'll be using. And when you look at a kit and you're going to light it up, you're going to have to kind of see what, where you're going to drill holes at, how you're going to, like with this stuff, you've got supporting in here. You may have to drill this out or cut it out somehow or something to get lights to fit in there and work properly. Same way, if we want to do some kind of neat and light this up, which I think I'm going to do. I'm going to light this back part up, have the little end lights up, the bastard cell will light up, have the lights on the navigation lights, dome lights, that. So first, what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out where to put the holes for windows here. And you can see there's no indentions or anything, no indication of where a window goes at all. And there's a couple of different ways we can go about this. One is I just took the stickers that they had and I copied them. Say these weren't stickers and they were decals and you didn't want to mess them up, you can copy them off and then cut them out and then just tape them onto where you want them at. And then we can just drill in using a little pin vise here, and you can just drill in your holes where you want them. Or you can, since I'm going to be using the decals on this kit, I can go through and take the actual stickers, get one off here, take these stickers and do the same thing. Make sure I don't put it on upside down. Maybe a little bit closer forward. And you can always use the box, kind of see where you're at on here, and I'm pretty happy with that. I think I like how that looks. So after you've got that, then we can start drilling through. I'm going to drill a couple of these and show you what this looks like with using this kind of setup. Alright, I've got some of the holes drilled out here, and like I said, what I used here was a pin vise. Now you can pick these things up anywhere from $10 to $15 at a Hobby Lobby or Hobby Town or anything like that, and they're great. You can put little tiny drill bits in these, and I would suggest using one of these instead of trying to use a Dremel and drill out all these holes, because a Dremel will heat up the plastic and actually will end up making the hole bigger than you want. So you really don't want to use a Dremel. Something like this is the way to go. So I'll show you what this kind of looks like. I have a test light here, and I'll kind of show you. You can see we got a bunch of the windows all drilled out here, but we have a problem. We're going to have to remove some of this inside. Now what I'm talking about here is this was a snap together model, and we're going to have to remove all these little pins that go to the other half that snap into place. So we're going to have to remove all these in the neck because there's not much space here, and we want to be able to light this all up evenly, and these are going to end up creating dead spaces for the light. So we're going to have to get rid of all that. We're going to have to get rid of this primary bracing that's in here, get rid of this peg and probably this wall, and make a groove in through here so we can light this up really nice. And with this, I would suggest using a Dremel. Now you can pick up Dremels, real cheap ones, like $20 at Walmart, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Can't seem to find mine, so we'll just use the Q trick. And there we go. Now, this is the Dremel I'm talking about. You can pick these up for 20 bucks or so at Walmart, and they come with different batteries and such. And but this is what you use. Really simple. It's got a high and a low. Not real complicated. It's cordless. If you've got like a bigger Dremel set, like I got a nice one here. I don't knock everything over. Got a nice one with a stylus on here that I can use that I'm going to use for this project, just because I like using this better. I like the fact that it's more like a pencil, easier for me to use. But if you're starting out and you, like I said, you want to get into this and you're not sure where to begin, this is a cheap way to get into it. It'll allow you to do this or whatnot. So we'll get set up here and we'll start drilling these out, or not drilling them out, but start, getting rid of all this plastic, and you'll see how that looks. going to start taking out all this bracing and stuff. And to do that, we're going to use the Dremel here. Now, you can use several different types of bits, and you can get these at, I've seen them at Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, and they're real cheap. They're only a couple bucks or whatnot. And you got a bit like this, more rounded. It'll take out way more plastic or material. You got one like that. It's got kind of a sharp point on it, cone shaped. And then I've got a round one. So these are what we'll be using. Always make sure, you know, I use one of these little chucks, which are just amazing. I love using them, and if you can put these things on any Dremel, so really nice to have. You don't have to worry about using those little plastic inserts and hoping it stays in place. This will make sure it's really tight. So make sure this is tight. All right. So now we'll start tearing it down. And anytime you do this, it's always a good idea to wear safety glasses. You don't want a hot piece of plastic hitting you in the face or something like that. So always wear safety glasses just to be on the safe side. So here we go. Alright, now I'm going to change chucks or bits here so I can get this a little more nicely smoothed out. This is just, I use this one to primarily take off all the big stuff. I'm going to go with this round one. Give me a much smoother surface in the middle of this stuff, and it'll make it look much nicer when I go to light it up. So. Alright, now we're going to take out just this little piece here, and we'll be done. Switching bits up again. We'll use this one, it's more like a point, because I just need to take out enough of this to where I can run like maybe a single LED in here and run the wires through here. So, and luckily there's no windows, but right here in this little part. So all I have to do is worry about putting one little bulb here, and this will light that whole area up on both sides. So. Now, as you can see, that didn't work real well. No problem. We'll just take our little hobby knife here and cut out some of this. Alright. As you can tell, this does make a little bit of a mess. Clean this up here real quick. Alright, so we've taken out all this here, and now we can go back through, and you'll probably have to take the pin vise again and re-drill some of these holes. You might have covered them up, you know, with grinding out all that plastic. Not a big deal. Just go back through some of them, and then we can go back through some of these holes that now, since we got rid of all this bracing, we can go right through that stuff real easy and light this all up and make it look really nice. And I'm going to light up every window it's got, you know, so now we've done this, we can light all that up. So, and with that, you'll have to go through and do this on the other side. We'll have to take all that out, and this little peg, take this little brace wall out, and I won't have to worry about cutting this out because I'm using magnet wire, and it's really, really thin, so not a problem there. But we'll have to take out the two on the neck. So we have a little bit more to do. We can get to the halves, this other half, and get it all done. So when we come back, we're going to work on these warp pylons. We're going to have to trench this whole area on both sides so we can run wires up through them. So, and then kind of trench it out, and then make some type of trench hole or drill here so we can run the wires out through. And then we've also got to figure out what we're going to do for a stand on this main part, on the main body, which I'm going to use just some stock tubing here, something that doesn't look overly too big, kind of is in scale with the model, and probably run that up through there just like that, make some kind of a support for it so it'll sit in there and I can support that real sturdy and strong, so it'll look real good. So that's the plan. So when we get back, we'll get to it. So with all of that, we've got a lot coming in the next episode. I hope to see you all back and keep modeling. Till next time, transporter room, one to beam up.